commissioners have already been introduced. They have their name tags up there. They're going to have 2 minutes to basically, give you an introduction of who they are, what motivates them, what experience and education they may have that makes them good candidates. And we're going to start things off in alphabetical order, and then with the questions, we're going to rotate. In other words, Mr. Boatwright is going to answer the first question first. But the second question, Mr. Edwards is going to answer first. We'll rotate down that way somebody doesn't get the advantage of everybody else's answers, so on a consistent basis. So, Mr. Boatwright.
Yes, sir.
If you would please go ahead and
Jim,
give us your...
please.
Oh, excuse me.
When you're 15 seconds to the end, this comes up. When you're done, this comes up.
And, yeah, now, we want you to be able to not just stop in the middle of a sentence, so we're not going to go berserk when that red flag goes up, but really wrap it up quick, okay?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
My name is Walter Jr. Boatwright, and I've had the privilege of serving you for the last 4 years when you hired me 4 years ago. And when I was running for that election, I told you that I was going to use my experience as 31 years being with a utility service and the engineering service that I had. And I was able to retire, and I got elected and have been working for you for the last 4 years, keeping the taxes low, keeping the services the best we can possibly keep them. And I was telling somebody this the other night when we were over at another function. I said, 4 years ago when I ran, I had one main reason to run. I had a grandson. I grew up in this county. I graduated from West Nassau High School. I met my wife there. We got married. We had 2 sons. They're living here now. Now I have, back then I had 1 grandson. And I said, I want to make sure that we continue to make this county the best that it can possibly be so that my grandson can continue to live here. Well, now I've got 2 grandsons. After 4 years, I have another one. I have a 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old grandson. And fortunately, all of them live here. And I've got a lot of folks that I know, that people that I went to school with and other folks, that their kids had to move off. And I just want to keep it where it is right now, where we have it, where people can live here, work here, and play here. And I think we've accomplished a big portion of that in the last 4 years. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Pat Edwards. First, I'd like to thank the Tea Party Patriots for giving us the option here tonight to meet you. I've been a resident of Nassau County for 39 years. My wife and I tomorrow will celebrate 39 years of marriage. We moved here that day. I have owned and operated RPM Lumber in Yulee for the same amount of time. I've always donated my time to the area. I have served as a volunteer as auxiliary highway patrolman, Little League coach, Pop Warner coach, president of Little League, and quarterback club. I've always been interested in how the government works. I have watched from the business side, and I think I can do a better job than the incumbent, and that's why I decided to run. I think that we need to keep our debt low, we need to be conservative, and we need to run it more like a business, and if I'm elected, that's my plan. Thank you.
Mr. Overstreet.
He's messing up my rhythm.
I'll give you a break to think.
There you go, thank you. Good evening, I'm Ken Overstreet. I'm a candidate for County Commission District 5. Be assured that this is not a race. It's not a campaign about yesterday or today, but about tomorrow and the future of Nassau County. We're looking at some grave times. You look in the paper and you see where cities are going bankrupt. don't think this could not happen to Nassau County, because it can. The things we're looking at now, we just passed a budget, signed off on a budget Monday night that carried forward over $8 million in shortfalls. And we're taking this out of reserves and out of the 1 cent sales tax. We can't go on like that forever. That money is not an unending source. But a little bit about myself and my family. I'm married to Faye, 39 years, the 1st of December. We're both military veterans with a combined 57 years of military service. Faye is a matter of fact, a 100% permanently disabled veteran. Both of our sons are in law enforcement. One's a police officer in Atlanta. One's a Border Patrol agent in Phoenix. We pray for him a lot. My dad was a 40-year veteran of the fire department. The family has grown up being committed to community involvement and public service. We always will be. We're the very definition of that. That won't change. I'm running because I met a gentleman that impressed me. You may or may not be familiar enough with him to have an opinion, but Mr. John Crawford, the clerk of the court, met me probably a year and a half ago, and he gave a talk at our Lions Club about the Declaration of Independence. I have never been so moved in my life. He is the reason I'm running, and I lay all my credit to him. Thank you so much for being here.
Mr. Stutes.
Good evening, everyone. Ronnie Stutes. I am running for County Commissioner District 3. I've been married 23 years to my wife, Julie. We have 3 children. Landon's 21, Kayla 16, Tyler 15. So I'm ready to get them married off and buy my motorhome. We are excited about being in Nassau County. I have not been here as long as the other candidates, only 3.5 years, but I have a passion for public service. If being asked the question, have you ever served in public before, the answer is actually no from a legal standpoint of being in office, but 20 years I've been an ordained minister, so we have served the public in that capacity. 27 plus years I've been a self-employed business owner. Currently I own Amelia Wealth Management here on 14th Street. If given the opportunity to serve you, we will take our conservative values from our religious background and also our conservative values that we use in our business practices every day to serve you as the taxpayer. I want to be your voice, make sure that your opinions are being heard on that board. And we are at a very critical place in our budget. I'm asking for your support so that we can take our skills and our education and be able to serve you in sorting through all of the difficulties with this economy. God bless you. Thank you so much for your time.
That's easy. Like I said, if you can't hear me, start doing this real quick, because that means I forgot to talk, okay? Okay, first question, and I hope none of you think these are hard questions, because you can ask me, you're gonna be a commissioner, you're gonna get the hard stuff. It's part of the job, I'm sure. Okay, do you think that the current size of our county government is appropriate, or should it be increased or decreased, and why?
Okay. The current size of the county government, when I took office 4 years ago, now this is the Board of County Commissioners. We have no control over the constitutional officers. They can do what they want to. But at that point, there was 367 employees under the Board of County Commissioners. As of a couple months ago, there was 299. We cut 68 employees during the over the last 4 years. We've not replaced them, and I think we're kind of getting back to that point to where it needs to be. When the great times were going good and money was flowing, they were just hiring wherever they could, and I think we've gotten now to where we can sustain ourselves.
small businessman, I've had to make a lot of decisions in the last few years that were negative for both employees and profit. And having done that, I can tell you that most times, whether it's business or government, there are excesses. I think the only way to find excess is to go line by line, job by job, and extort whatever we can out of that, and then make decisions based on what the people are willing to do as far as their extra things. If the lights at the ballparks, the mowing of the yard, of the roadsides, we have to make a decision on what we want to do. We can cut government, we can cut services, but is that what we want to do? So I think first we have to find the fat, trim it, and then see where we're at.
Personally, the first thought comes to mind is that government is too large. We have looked at expenses. I agree with Mr. Edwards. We need to go line by line through the budget and trim where we can, and there are areas that we can trim, be it painful or not. But I think we need to look at number of employees. I think we need to look at job descriptions, the duties, the job performances that these employees encompass. We also need to look at pay scales. Are our pay scales comparable with governments of our size? So, in fact, I do believe the government is too large. I think that's where we need to look to make the cuts that we need to make, not tax increases, but make the cuts in government we need to make this thing an affordable operation. Thank you.
Abraham Lincoln said in the Gettysburg Address, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And so my opinion, as is probably the opinion of most of the American population right now, is government is too big on all levels. And it's time that we bring power back to the people, and that is my opinion and my stand tonight.